Right, that's the thumbnail done. First of all, let's address the elephant in the room. There's loads of techniques you can use to improve your mental health, but if your sleep is out of whack, none of them are going to work. And a lot of you guys have asked for my evening routine, so here it is on a good and a bad day. On a good day, no screens after 8, go for a walk, read in bed, try to fall asleep, fail miserably, check time, oh no, it's past midnight, start panicking about the sleep I'm losing, wake up like a bulldozer's hit me. On a bad day, scroll on phone right up until bed, lay in bed, stare at ceiling, feeling like a loser because I scrolled, try to sleep but can't because mind is loud, check time, oh no, it's 1:47, start panicking about the sleep I'm losing, wake up like 2 bulldozers have hit me. Now I'm not an insomniac, but my mind loves going into overdrive as soon as I put my head on the pillow. Perhaps yours does too. So this week, a clinical psychologist who specialises in sleep problems called Nick Wignall taught me everything I need to know about how to turn your mind off before bed, and I'm going to share this with you right now. But before we do so, please respect the dress code for this video. You need to be naked in your pyjamas or wearing your best robe. No arguments. Look, you're now holding the rest of us up. Go put your best robe on. But first of all, we need to define the problem. The main problem with trying to fall asleep is in the trying, because when you try to do something, your brain assumes there's a problem and it releases a little bit of adrenaline which sparks your sympathetic nervous system, which leads to you being aroused. And as you can guess, being aroused before bed isn't what you want. You want relaxation. Added to that, you're probably pretty clued up on how important sleep is for you. So as well as aroused because you're trying to fall asleep, you're also anxious because you're aware of all of the sleep you're not getting. So now let's get into the protocols of how to overcome this. There's 4 protocols I have for you, but up first, number 1, establish a sleep runway. You likely struggle to turn your mind off before bed because you're a high achiever. Now, what I mean by that is you spend most of your waking hours thinking about problems and trying to be productive. But think about being a high achiever just like a jet airplane. A jet airplane can soar to great heights, but what it doesn't do is soar at 30,000 feet in the air at 500 miles an hour and then hover over the airport destination and nosedive down towards it. No, a jet airplane needs a long runway in order to slow it down before landing. Pilots even start deaccelerating the aircraft about 30 minutes before landing. But you likely approach your sleep through the lens of the nosediving jet airplane, where you stay occupied right up until the last minute and then just expect yourself to crash out asleep. For example, you check email, you check social media, or you have important discussions that you've left until later on. So, in order to increase your sleep confidence, you need a dedicated runway of about 60 to 90 minutes where you are free from stressful activities and you give your mind time to slow down. Some things to steer clear from: no calls, no important decisions, no checking of work-related stuff, no decision-making in general. Some ideas you might want to replace these things for: zone out. Listen to calming music, go for a walk, journal, watch mindless TV. It's not the worst thing in the world to have a screen on if it lets you kind of zone out. No thrillers, no action movies, nothing that is going to spark anxiety or arousal. And last note about this protocol, you want to do it as a routine, something that you don't have to think about what you're going to do each night and you just fall into the rhythm of it. And it works best the more consistently you do it. My ideal runway would be screens off at 8, put my laptop away, phone in the garage, turn red light on, yes, my room looks like a brothel after 8 PM, walk and talk to myself out loud, come back, read in bed a fiction book until I fall asleep. Protocol number 2 is... Number 2, develop a midnight plan. Even when I get a good night's sleep, I still wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning and I'm just laying there. Neuroscientifically, this is because of too much activation in 2 brain regions called the prefrontal cortex and the anterior cingulate during slow wave sleep, when your brain should be relaxing. But now you're awake in early hours of the morning, you're anxious, as mentioned, because you're aware of all of the sleep you're not getting. And second of all, you're aroused, because if you get up and do something else and you check the time, you're just trying to fall back asleep, which creates the sleep effort paradox. So, to deal with this, you need a simple, relaxing routine you can rely on in those moments where you randomly wake up. Let's say you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't fall back asleep. Validate your frustration emotionally. Say to yourself, I'm feeling frustrated because I can't sleep right now. Identify the problem. Then 2, do something relaxing. Read a novel or listen to calming music. Don't meditate and don't do breath work, because those things are you trying to solve the problem of falling asleep, which is going to make you more aroused. Ideally, your midnight plan is going to be something that's relaxing enough to help you fall asleep, but distracting enough to take your mind off trying to solve the problem of falling asleep. Treat it like a recipe. In an ideal world, you're not going to have to use your midnight plan, but it's there for you to rely on in moments of crisis in the kitchen or the bedroom. And finally, set it as a routine once you find what your midnight plan is, and do that as soon as you get into bed. Protocol number 3, 2 more. My favourite one, make time to worry on purpose. Have you noticed what the main culprit is yet of you not being able to turn your mind off before you go to sleep? It's worry. Here's the vicious cycle of worry. You worry. That makes you feel anxious. That raises your arousal because your body is now prepped for action, meaning you can't sleep. So it goes round again. And worse yet, by continuously worrying in bed, you train your brain to worry whenever you hit the pillow. But here's why you worry at night instead of during the day. You're likely pretty good at keeping yourself occupied throughout the day. You're productive, you can solve problems, and you focus your attention externally, which means during the day, you block out your emotions in order to get stuff done. So, the only time your brain has to highlight all of its worries to you is when there's no external things to focus on and you're just lying there alone. Your brain says, oh, finally, I've got your attention. By the way, these are all of the things I was trying to highlight to you earlier, but you ignored me on, so here's all the worries in one go. So in order to prevent this from happening, here's what you do. Number 1, pick a time to worry each evening. 8, half 8, 9, 2. Set a timer for 10 minutes when that time arises. This will prevent you from going overboard. 3, write down as many worries as you can think of during those 10 minutes. They can range from when to buy milk, what to wear tomorrow, to who to marry, what career to take and where to move. 4, set worry boundaries. During worry time, worry hard. But any worries that arise throughout the day, let your brain know, brain, we're going to worry about this later on. The logic behind this is simple. By scheduling your worry, you are rewarding your brain to worry at the right time, rather than when your head hits the pillow. So worrying becomes a practice. Perhaps a very enjoyable one at that. Finally, number 4, try sleep compression. When you're not getting the best sleep, your natural tendency is to spend more time in bed. You might lay in longer in the mornings or go to bed earlier, but this tricks your brain to associate your bed with not sleeping. So temporarily do the opposite. Trade sleep quantity for sleep quality. Set a strict window for yourself of, over the next few days, I'm only going to spend a maximum of 6 hours in bed, no matter how much sleep I get. And the logic behind this is, you'll be sleeping less, so you'll be sleepier over a few days, meaning when you go to sleep, you'll fall asleep easier, so your brain will gradually reassociate your bed with sleeping. However, this is temporary. Only do this for a maximum of a week, because you'll be getting less sleep and that's detrimental. But if worse comes to worse, try sleep compression. Finally, there's one more thing I want to leave you with before we summarise. If you're really not getting the best sleep at the moment, I'd suggest you start evaluating your days based on how you perform, rather than how you feel. Because it's easy when you're sleep deprived to think that nothing is going to be possible when you're not able to function as normally in your job, in your relationships or what have you. But most of the time, even when you're a little bit sleep deprived, you're still able to perform your usual daily functions, which, recognising that, will decrease your anxiety around sleep, hopefully leading you to fall asleep easier. So in summary, establish a sleep runway, develop a midnight plan, make time to worry on purpose, try sleep compression, and evaluate your days based on how you perform, rather than how you feel. I'll put a link to Nick's article in the description. Otherwise, it's been a bit of a different one, hasn't it? Stay disciplined, playful, and dangerous. Adios, muchachos y muchachas. Konnichiwa. Is that hello or goodbye? Oh shit. Fucking brilliant. Postman's here.